Hey guys, Tosin here with a general guide. It's not just for one class. This is about coordinating CC. This can apply to pretty much any class, because every class has some sort of CC, so coordinating it with your teammates in Arena is very important for landing kills, especially with how potent heals are in this expansion. A lot of the time you need airtight CC chains to land kills. Because if the healer gets out of a CC for even a couple of seconds, a lot of the time he can burst heal your target and you'll lose the kill. So CC coordination is really important because this will help you get the most out of your CC. If you overlap a bunch of CC or you don't coordinate well enough and do airtight CC chains, then it'll just be much harder to land kills and you'll just have less success in general. So this guide is about coordinating CCs, and a big part of that is communication with your teammates. So I'm going to be showing, audio portions of the clips to show you how I'd communicate with my teammates to pull off some really good CC chains. Now, one thing to note is the pace of the game right now is extremely fast. It's actually harder than it's ever been to communicate CCs preemptively. A lot of the time you have to react very quickly and you don't have a lot of time to communicate, depending on what kind of comp you're playing. If you're playing a rushdown comp, usually synergy with a certain teammate that you're playing with is really important. The longer you play with teammates, the more you get used to your habits and forms of communication. So, of course, if you're team hopping a lot and playing with different people all the time, it's going to make coordinating a bit more difficult than if you stick with the same partners for a while. So that is nice. So I've been playing with these two players a decent bit, so we have pretty good synergy, I guess you could say. And this lends well to on-the-fly, quick communication with CCs. But just to note, you can't actually be perfect when it comes to CC because a lot of the game is reflex because of how fast-paced it is, like I mentioned. So sometimes you'll overlap, and that's not the end of the world. The point is to reduce the amount that you overlap. Alright, so I'm going to get into this first clip, and you'll see a pretty good example of good coordination in CC chains. Okay, so first off, you'll see how this game starts. The audio will pick up midway when we start our CC chain. We don't really talk about our CC chain right off the bat, but like I said, we've played together a decent amount, and one common thing for experienced hunters is they know to trap off of their teammates' CCs. So a lot of the time I'll say, hey, I'm gonna leg sweep the shaman, and then he will say, okay, trapping off. So you'll see that in a moment. Tell me if you want to paralyze.
Or
if you're just gonna go for traps. I'm punching the shit out of him. Now notice here, he wasn't preemptive about his silence and scatter. This is just something you have to get used to because, again, the game pace in this expansion is very fast, so a lot of the time you have to go off of habit and expectations. My habit is usually to let my hunters start the CC chain and let him tell me what to do or play off of the things he says. Or, I know what a hunter can do as far as CC goes, so if he silences into scatter and doesn't call out that he's going to trap, well, I know he doesn't really have any other CCs besides maybe a lullaby from his pet or something, because, I know what CC arsenal hunters have just from game knowledge and experience. So my hunter just did a silence to a scatter shot, but he didn't call out if he was going to do any other CCs. So I took the opportunity while the enemy shaman and the rogue were stacked up near me to leg sweep, and I ran over and I called out that I'm going to do it. And my hunter now is going to react with the leg sweep and trap off of it, because it's much more reliable to trap off of a stun rather than a scatter shot because it holds the shaman still. So this CC coordination is partly due to both of our experience in just playing the game at a high level, and part of it is improved by playing together often enough that we learn each other's communication and habits. So synergy is kind of important, but synergy is not what a lot of people think it is. I'll probably make a different video on the definition of synergy and what people think about it and what it actually means to me, but that'll be a separate topic entirely. So for now, he did a silence into a scatter, but he knew he couldn't reliably trap off of that, so since he didn't call out that he was trapping off of anything, I'm going to take advantage of the positioning of the enemy shaman and leg sweep him off of that. And then my hunter is then going to trap off of it.
Okay, he just saw me, by the way.
Oh, leg sweep! Leg swept everything!
Okay. Trapping off?
He dispersed!
Okay, lullaby Dia.
I paralyzed the rogue! Keep rogue in combat!
I feared him.
Okay, rooting him. Trying to get Siphene.
Feared? I'm willing
it.
Sorry. So due to our initial CC chain, we forced dispersion. So this has already been successful. We pretty much just need to rinse repeat and force more defensive cooldowns and eventually land a kill doing this kind of CC coordination. And now you're going to see our priest take the opportunity, since he's holy spec, to cast Chastise on the enemy shaman. So your healer can get in on the action too when he has the opportunity and he doesn't have to spam heals. So Here he's going to notice that we already did our CC chain and he's used to our communication, so he's going to step in and hit him with a chastise. So even our healer's playing off of the communication, which is really important. And then after that, there's going to be another silencing shot from our hunter because that's pretty much all the CC we have left in the meantime.
Chastising.
Still killing the light spring.
Okay, I have a silence on.
Okay.
Silence them?
Do you want me to do
Even
our
this
paralyze or
blind.
anything?
Actually trinketing blind.
No.
Okay. Now notice sometimes you can't predict what your teammates are going to do at any given time, so sometimes it's nice to ask questions. Here I asked, do you want me to paralyze him? And my hunter says, no, I'm going to scatter him. And then he's going to tell me, you can paralyze him off of that. This kind of communication makes your CC chains so much more potent. Now, I'm not going to get to paralyze off of the scatter shot because I was in danger and I had to panic react and Touch of Karma to survive, but I'm going to instead stun the shaman and then paralyze him after that. So it wasn't exactly what we intended, but it still works out fine, possibly even better.
Scatter shot coming in?
Kill
Paralyze
Mike.
off that.
Freestyle.
I Karma.
Okay. That was huge.
Okay, paralyze Sean.
I stunned everything.
Okay, keep me.
Paralyze shaman, yeah, full.
Okay, good.
I'm doing big damage here.
I don't think he has
Just
tremor. I
let me-
figured.
Go.
Doing big damage here, I swear to God. Whoa.
I get chastised out of that.
Leg sweep.
Okay. Silence off your chastise.
Really late.
And then again, as you can see, our healer participates in the CC chain as well. He listens to the way we're communicating and what we're calling out, and once he knows that we've already done our CC, then he can fill in the gaps that we don't have, because it's really important to do long, airtight CC chains to land kills. So, after we were done with our CC chain, and our hunter didn't call out that he had any more CC to follow up, and neither did I, our priest decided to fear, because he forced Tremor Totem earlier, so he feared the shaman, and he had to sit that full, and then a Siphoned also feared him again, and our priest also called out, I'm going to chastise him off of that fear, so he chastises him. And then our hunter also says, I have a silence after that. So this is why communication is really important, because even if you call it out 1 to 2 seconds before you do it, that gives your teammates enough time to hesitate their CCs so you don't overlap, and that way you can rotate them and do a really awesome long CC chain. And as you can see, coordination and communication is super important for winning games at a high level. You are not going to beat top tier teams until you and your teammates learn to work together and get the longest and most powerful CC chains possible, and communication is a huge part of it. Spending time playing together with the same teammates definitely helps reinforce this though. I have played with a lot of different new people, and communication, even without good synergy developed, you can still succeed with good communication at a high level if you learn to do it by habit. The thing that is important is all of us, me and Yask and Fusion, are all experienced players, even playing with other people. So even though we didn't play with each other prior to this season, we still worked together very well early on due to our general experience with other players. So even if you're playing with new teammates, even if your CC chains and coordination aren't perfect, you can still get very far just using basic communication. We were able to work together without synergy or experience together just because of the habits we've developed over the years of playing. So anyway, I hope this video was very insightful for you guys, and I really think that this is one of the key components to doing well in Arena, or pretty much any PvP game, to be honest. Any team game, communication and coordination is huge for success. Even if your comp is weaker than the opponents, if you're better at coordinating and communicating and using superior teamwork, you can still overcome disadvantages, because superior communication is an advantage in itself. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. I do hope you liked it, and I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching, and peace out.